Hi guys, it's me. How are you guys getting on? So today is day 2 of this week's training. I hope you got stuck into yesterday's video lesson, and I hope you didn't feel too awkward having a little look around your competitors on Instagram. And like I said, it's very much now the time to super focus on our own business and what we are doing to work on this part of our business, which is super important. So today is day 2, and we are calling this video lesson Systemising Your DMs. DMs are really an area on the platform that we kind of just look at as a quick message. Sometimes we get back to people, sometimes we don't. And so I really want to spend some time talking about how we actually strategically reply to those DMs. And so I want to talk you through putting a system in place. That word system, we are so familiar with it as a beauty boss, aren't we? I know when we were teaching, and we still very much do teach, gel polish, myself as a training provider and all the other training providers out there, we like to teach our students about gel polish in the form of systems. We are trained in all beauty schools to not mix systems because it compromises on the performance of the product and it does things like service breakdown. We know that we cannot use a lamp from one manufacturer and use a polish or a gel polish system from another manufacturer because, again, they are not working together. They have not been made to work together. They compromise the entire system. And so when you are being trained in your nail courses, you are trained and you are walked through a system. I want to use that same analogy and walk you through a system when you are handling your DMs, because by using this and adapting this process, you will find the whole process a lot easier to understand. You will certainly find it a lot more effortless and even fun. You know, we don't want this part of our business to be the part that, you know, we feel is the headache part of the runnings of our business or the aggro. If you ever feel about that in a particular area of your business, chances are it's just because you haven't really spent the time to understand it and nurture it. So this is really what video 2 is all about. So I'm going to talk to you about how to systemize the process in the DMs, because anyone that is DMing you is a potential client. I'm going to talk to you about how you can turn conversations into conversions. And when I say conversions, I basically mean bookings or sales. And I really want you to adapt what I'm going to say, and like all the other videos moving forward and in previous training sessions, we do have a supporting workbook in place so that you can really take action. And also around this video session, you will get further support from myself, where I will be dropping by in the BBC. That's the Beauty Boss community group on Facebook, just for a quick 10 minutes to kind of have a quick Q&A with you guys and see if I can answer any of your questions and be there to support you if you need me. Okay, so let's get stuck in. I'm going to have a quick look at my notes. Yes, so let's just remind ourselves before we really get stuck in why you're here today and why you're watching this video. It's probably because you're not making enough money. It's probably because you're not generating enough sales or you're not taking enough bookings. It's also probably because maybe you've hit that part of the year, which we very much expected if you watched my training last month, where you're going a little bit quiet. We've had that, you know, sudden rush back to your business now that we are allowed to go ahead and deliver full contact treatments again. And it's been a few weeks now, and so we are starting to see that part of the business kind of slowing down. And so we need to think about what we're going to do with that time that we have on our hands if we do not have paying customers through the door. In previous training sessions, I have called those RGAs, revenue generating activities. And this really just sits in well and very nicely in what we're about to delve into right now. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you is a little statistic. So Instagram is actually behind Facebook and behind YouTube. So for those of you that may have a small audience, for those of you that may have not many followers, I want you to understand that as or see that as a huge plus sign. The fact that Instagram is behind Facebook and YouTube, it means there is growth. So you are not late to the party. You do not I don't want you to feel like you've missed the boat or anything like that. There's still plenty of ways and room for you to generate sales and bookings on Instagram. Now, I did explain yesterday how Instagram as a beauty professional is our most powerful platform. And that's all because people buy with their eyes on Instagram versus some of the other platforms out there. 83% of people that use the platform have even gone on to say they have bought services or products since they have been on Instagram, and they have bought through looking at people's business accounts. And I think that's really important because number one, 83% is a huge number. I mean, that is such a big proportion of people that are saying when they are on the app, they are now using it as a tool to find new services, to buy things from. So it's moved from where it started. It moved from it just being fun. It moved from it just coming up with funny memes that we would share or screenshot and send to our friends and family. And it's moved from, stalking your favorite celebrities. The tools that are in Instagram really have changed and adapted along the years. And yes, I can't cover all of those in this video or even this training session, but obviously we are going to start somewhere that I personally feel is really, really important, and that is your DMs and the sales process that you are going to apply to that process so that you get more conversions. Okay, let's get stuck in. So let's answer another question. Do we think Instagram is saturated? I want to say no, a big fat no. Again, I want to remind you from previous trainings that people buy into you as well as products now. So there's a number of ways you can use your Instagram account. They can buy into you through storytelling, such as your stories, and they can buy into your products through your virtual salon window, we call it, don't we? And that's your grid, by the way, and lots of other things that we will go in and discuss in future training videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about, or talk you through, a strategy that we have been using here at the Creative Beauty Group for a number of years, actually. And yes, I'm no longer a salon owner. I am a former salon owner of 8.5 years, which I loved every minute of it. But right now, the building I'm sat in is the Creative Beauty Group. It's another business of mine, and it is a distribution business and also a academy or a network of academies across the UK and now Spain. And so when we get our inquiries through email, through text messages, if it's in Spain, WhatsApp is very popular in the Spanish market, or if it's through PMs and DMs and good old, campaigns and things like that, through subscription letters, newsletters, and things like that. What do we do in-house? What is the process that will make sure that when those leads come through, those potential students, if we're talking the training, those potential customers, if I'm talking the distribution part, and for you with your salon hat on, potential clients, what is the process? What is my system? And so I'm going to talk to you about that. I'm going to tweak it and adapt it a little bit because, like I say, I'm not a salon, so I'm not using it as a salon, but it's not too dissimilar to the way that you would certainly be doing this same strategy, which is why I'm sharing it with you. And so I want you to understand when we get a potential client or a potential student or customer, they generally fall into one of three slots. I want you to think of that person, that avatar, that ideal client that we discussed and touched on yesterday, to fall into one of the temperatures that will be coming up on a thermometer. They will either be a cold lead or a cold customer or a cold DM or a cold PM, whatever you want to call it, whatever works best in your mind to understand this process. Or there'll be a warm lead or there will be a hot lead. So to give you an example and to break that down for you, a cold lead would be somebody that has never heard from you, doesn't know who you are, has never heard of your beauty salon, has never heard of our courses if they've contacted us, but they don't know anything about me as a business owner. They don't know anything about our brands. They don't know anything about the company. That, to me, coming through my business would be a cold lead. And to your business would also be a cold lead if they haven't heard of your beauty salon. A warm lead would be somebody that may have heard from you or heard about you, Maybe they were window shopping. Maybe they had seen somebody check in through a mutual friend on Facebook. Maybe they'd come across a review somewhere. But they don't really know you, do they? They've just heard from you. That's a warm lead. And a hot lead is somebody that is already pretty much convinced before they've even bought into you, bought into your services. They've pretty much made their minds up that they like what they see. They haven't quite trusted you yet, but they certainly know of you and they like you. Or at this stage, they certainly like what they see, which takes them right through to a more home run as a hot lead. So that's basically how I want you to look at every single DM that hits your inbox on Instagram. Look at those DMs and just ask yourself, are they a cold lead, warm lead, or hot lead? Because if you gather that data and you know what you're dealing with, then you know how to best handle that conversation and help walk them through their journey of getting to know you, getting to like you, and getting to trust you before that transaction starts. Now, if we talk virtually, the transaction would be a booking, or it would be handing over their data, like their phone number or their email address. And then it would be down to you to then act upon that information and get them in the book. And obviously the true physical transaction would be the money at the till. So that is what I want you to look at when you are systemizing your process of handling those DMs. I want you to take a step back. Who are these people that are coming to you, or, creating those questions in your inboxes initially, that initial conversation? For you to get a little bit more confident in executing that conversation to a home run sale or booking, you want to get them to be that hot lead or that hot booking. So the way you do that, you get them to know you, you get them to like you, and you get them to trust you. So I know what your next thing is going to be. It's going to be, well, how do I get them to know me? How do I get them to trust me? How do I get them to like me? And so there's 3 things I want you to think about when you are posting, when you're quiet, your IGAs, and when you are content creating, because if you are a business owner and you're in the year 2020, which you are absolutely content creating if you have a social media handle that you are using to sell your business goods. So the first thing would be consistency. You absolutely need to show up regularly. They need to see consistency for them to trust you. They need to see consistency for them to often see your virtual salon window appear, which is your grid. The second thing will be your social proof. So when I say your social proof, as a beauty boss, knowing what we know on how Instagram works and that people buy with their eyes, and that Instagram is a platform where people see more video and more photo, as opposed to Facebook that we discussed yesterday, which is more debatable and conversational and community-like, and is where we can learn and it's more educational. I definitely want you to think about your social proof. So think about the photos you're putting up, your transformation photos, your before and afters, your beautiful nail fees, your beautiful sets of fan lashes. Basically the evidence, the evidence to show off your skill set and impress people that are walking by your virtual salon window. That makes you social proof. Okay, the last one is testimonials. So testimonials, which obviously are hugely, hugely powerful because they're not coming from you. They are unbiased and they are coming from somebody else, ideally a client, that is telling and expressing their feelings about how it was for them to be on the receiving end of receiving your services. It really comes from a place of transparency and them being genuine with no hidden agenda. And I think testimonials go a really, really long way when someone can stand there and represent your business for no other reason than they are genuinely happy with the service that they have received from you and your beauty business. So this is how you get your new clients or your new followers or people that have started to engage on the Instagram platform on your beauty business to get to know you, to get to like you and fundamentally get to trust you. That's not going to happen straight away. Now, I really want to be 100% here, and I need to explain, to be completely honest, this is not an overnight thing. This is going to take a little bit of nurturing. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to find your theme for your virtual salon window. It's going to take a little bit of time for you to get familiar and confident in video content and caption creation and all of these other things that we have to do to have a good engaging social media handle on Instagram. And like I said yesterday and in previous training, we're just expected to know these things, and yet we really, really don't. So I have a little task for you. So the task for tonight is to create something that we call in the creative world a high value piece of content. Now, content is simply a photo or a video, or it could be a blog, it could be a newsletter. But a high value in the year 2020, with what's going on now, video is absolutely king and is the future. The quicker you understand that, the quicker you absolutely accept that and just give it a go, don't dwell on it, and get out of your own way and give it a go, the quicker you will see the performance of your social media rapidly changing and engaging with more potential clients. Video is the future. If you do want to be serious about growing this part of your beauty business, then video is absolutely key. So my homework for today's video lesson is to create a high value piece of content, which is a video or a reel. Now, if you haven't watched my previous training, go back onto the BBC and just look for the links for the Let's Get Real training, because I literally walk you through hand in hand, step by step, how to create the perfect reel, why reels are super engaging at the moment, why Instagram is really rewarding people that are adopting to reels earlier than other accounts that are not, and how it's going to have an impact and have new eyes falling on your account and all this amazing stuff that reels do. Now, I strongly suggest, if I was to give you, if I really wanted to push you in a corner in terms of which type of video content, and you're really, really wanting to step up and take action right now with this training session, I would say go all in and try a Instagram reel. It's really not that hard. And actually, once you've had a few goes, you'll even find it fun, I promise you. But that is basically an example of high value content, okay? So that is what I want you to do. As an example from Beauty Boss HQ, what we have given you as high value content is things like the downloadable success planner, the PDF book on how to be the ultimate beauty boss. We also have a whole series of emails and automations and campaigns that, if you are watching this now, you have probably been one of the people on the receiving end of those. That is what we do, because fundamentally we are an online service, but you guys are not. You are, behind a desk, behind a couch, bricks and mortar, very, very service provided. You're not an online business in the way that we know it. You're still very much hands-on and have that face-to-face interaction with your customers. So we have to adapt to that. So with Instagram being the transformational platform, with you guys being so amazing at what you do with your hands and with your treatments, and you're totally, happy with that part of your business, let's now bring the two worlds together. Let's now bring them together and show your new potential clients and start creating those ideal client avatars by showing them what you're made of. And the best and strongest way of doing that is creating high value content in the form of a video, even better if it's a reel. So go ahead and do that for me. And again, by the end of the training, which is tomorrow's video session, it will all come together very, very nicely. If you have any questions around this training session, I will be live again in the BBC tonight, 8 p.m. I look forward to catching up with you guys then. See you then.